Hi, everyone. Stephanie Battolino here with another edition of Walk the Walk and Talk the Talk. And I started on my last segment, kind of focusing a little bit more on the book, reflections from both sides of the glass ceiling, finding my true self in corporate America. Came out in May of 2021. Manuscript written pretty much during the COVID winter of 2020. But anyway, I've been kind of just pulling some excerpts out, some things that have kind of resonated with me, and clearly some themes that have resonated with people that have already read the book and have given me feedback, which has all been really positive, and I am so very grateful for that. But one of the things that I talk a lot about in the book, and it's part of the title, is about being authentic, about the importance of being authentic. And there's actually a section at the tail end of the book in the epilogue where I really try to kind of pull that together. And I wanted to share an excerpt of that with you today. But before I do, I just want to let you know that the book is now available and has been for a while in hard copy as well as paperback. If you haven't read it yet, I would urge you to get a copy. Everyone that I have talked to has said to me, or have gotten emails from, has said to me, Steph, the book really talked to me on a certain level. And of course, that was different with each person. But the good news for me, and really the reason why I wrote the book, was just to kind of help people along the way, regardless of who they might be, whether it's a trans or a non-binary person who's considering transitioning on the job, or it's a DEI professional or an HR professional in a company or organization, a manager of people, allies of all shapes and sizes and stripes. If there's stories and learnings that I share along the way that resonate, then the job that I set out to do when I wrote the book has been achieved. And so if you haven't read it yet, I'd urge you to grab a copy. You can get them through my website, stephaniebattolino.com. Very easy to order, still on promotion. What else? I would say that it's been very cathartic for me to write and to speak about what I've written about. And I think a lot of that comes through in the book. And I think that if you feel that there is someone who can benefit from that, that's in your life, in your circle, I hope my story can help them in wherever they are in their journey. So without further ado, I'd like to get to the excerpt that I wanted to share. And it goes like this. It's interesting. I didn't really plan to read this part, but I put quotes that have resonated with me that are meaningful to me in front of each chapter. And I did so with the epilogue. And I love this quote that I found from Douglas Adams. It says, "I may not have gone where I intended to go, but I think I have ended up where I intended to be." And when I first read that, I was like, oh my God, that is like, yeah, that's kind of me. It's kind of my life. So, and there it is in the book. But anyway, it goes like this. "It has been quite a ride. I have made it to the other side of what I believe I set out to do, and I spun that very first plate up into the air 15 years ago to find my truest self. Everything else that has happened to me in my professional life, as well as my personal life, has flowed from that first flash of authenticity. Whatever success I have had or goal I have achieved since then can be traced back to that moment when I finally began to believe in myself and live my life on my own terms, not what I thought someone else wanted me to be. Like so many of my trans siblings, when I took that first step toward authenticity, I knew that I was embarking on a journey, but I had no idea what the finish line looked like. Being somewhat of a pragmatist, all I could see were the many real and imagined barriers that stood in the way of my happiness, and they were mountainous in size. I had no idea how to climb them or get around them, but I knew I still had to confront them. If I had any hope of surmounting them, I had to first embrace them. And so I did. And with a lot of help from a lot of people who cared about me, I found my way. With nose pressed firmly to the grindstone, I soldiered on, solely focused on the tasks ahead of me, blind to the bigger picture of the progress I was making toward my goal. The internal motor that God put inside of me may have slowed from time to time, but it never once stopped as I pursued, without reservation, my authentic self. It's like I was climbing a mountain in the fog. I couldn't see how far up I was until I stopped long enough to notice, in the momentary break in the clouds, the valley below disappearing from my view. And there were certainly enough times when I lost my footing on the climb, but somehow, through my own perseverance and the support of those around me, I avoided falling all the way down. And so it goes. So we all have an inner strength inside of us. We all have an internal engine, the little engine that keeps us going. I think we sometimes forget to tap into that in the moments in life that can seem most arduous. So I will leave it there. Good to see all of you. Come back and see me again on the next edition of Walk the Walk and Talk the Talk. But in the meantime, love each other and take care of each other. And I'll see you next time.